What's going on, guys? Welcome in. Farzin Vasugan here with you for a late pregame live chat. Yeah, we usually don't go this late ever, but the Chiefs playing a 9 p.m. Central kickoff game. So that certainly changes things for this game. Just gonna let it out right now. I will not be doing a halftime live stream or a post game live stream. If this is a regular season game, yeah, sure. But preseason, come on, like especially since the starters are not expected to play in this one, or at least the majority of them. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Who's really going to be tuned in that much? So might as well. Just. And we got a little bit of an error on the Instagram side of things. Okay, that's okay. It's preseason for all of us. All right. I'm not going to make this too long, but I do want to go over, I guess, some of the things that we are going to look forward to in this game. Obviously, no starters in this one. I can certainly understand maybe the reason with Andy Reid and his concerns about injuries and whatnot. That could be why. I mean, I don't know exactly why he's choosing to go this route. Maybe he feels Mahomes and so the starters have done enough. Because the thing is, we might not see Mahomes in next Friday's game either, which is the third preseason game that you really don't see the starters ever. As far as who we might see in this game, I'm curious what we're going to see from Tyquan Thornton and Jalen Royals, because we didn't really see too much of those guys last week, and they've been getting a lot of the training camp hype at the wide receiver position. My thing is, I would have liked to see Mahomes work with those guys a little more in one of the two preseason games, and it appears we might not see it. And I think the negative about Arizona fumbling on special teams, the opening kickoff, is that we didn't really get to see Mahomes go down the field for a long touchdown drive or anything like that. It was a quick, short touchdown drive, basically taking over in the red zone already, which is not anything terrible. That you're supposed to take advantage of that, but I guess for preseason matters, you would have liked to see a long drive from Mahomes, and we did not get that because of the turnover from Arizona. But what are Thornton and Royals going to do when working with Gardner Minshew and some of the other quarterbacks in this game? Are we going to see any of Kingsley Suamataia and Josh Simmons in this one? I would imagine those guys certainly need preseason reps, more so Suamataia than Simmons. I know it's hard to do during a football game, but keep an eye on Simmons' footwork. The way he moves and shuffles his feet, pretty good. Something the Chiefs have not had at that position for a couple of years. So I'm curious to see how that goes. Other offensive notes, I know a lot of people want to see more of Jason Brownlee because he was the guy who was on the receiving end of that touchdown pass last week. I made a great effort there adjusting his body because Mahomes placed that ball in an area where only Brownlee could really make an attempt to grab that football, not giving that defender any chance whatsoever. So a good job by him. But can Brownlee do more than just grab a touchdown catch from inside the 5? I'd be curious to see that as well. Sky Moore, Nico Remigio, Brashard Smith. I'm curious to see what they do on special teams. Brashard Smith has been on some people's radars for potentially a surprise cut. That would be a surprise to me for sure. So I'm not exactly sure how that's going to go with Smith. He's shown off his speed in camp. I don't think he's getting cut. If people are picking a surprise cut, I'm seeing a lot of people out there say Brashard Smith. I don't think so. I'm not saying it. I'd like to see Jared Whiteley get involved more, especially coming off that season-ending injury his rookie year last year. I'm curious what happens in the QB battle for the number 3 spot. Likely for the practice squad spot between Chris Oladokun and Bailey Zappi. Bailey Zappi did not look good at all last week. Chris Oladokun wasn't great, but I think he was trying to do his best to put the team in position to try to win last week late in the game. So I'd like to see what he can do in this one. I hope the Chiefs swap their spots, let Oladokun go with the 3s and Zappi go with the 4s. I think Oladokun deserves a chance to show himself with some of the 2s and 3s in this game here. Elijah Mitchell, we'll see. Some people have kind of wondered if he'd be a surprise cut. On the defensive side, Noel Williams and the rest of that secondary, I'd be curious to see. Najee Johnson did not have a good look last week. That's kind of really been the story of his career when it comes to trying to play cover corner in the NFL. Just has not really gone his way at all. One player I'm really curious to see, and I'm not trying to beat a dead horse with this, but what is FAU going to look like in this game, especially if a lot of starters are expected to sit out, like George Karlaftis and Mike Dana and Charles Omenihu? I mean, are we going to see any of those, any snaps from those guys in this game? Because if not, FAU should play more in this game, I would imagine. Here's my concern with FAU. Last week, he had that roughing the passer call in the second half. The roughing the passer call is one thing. The second half part is another. Your first round draft pick from 2 years ago should not be playing in the second half of a preseason game. If it was his rookie season, okay, sure. But in his third season, that's what concerns me with FAU. This is not me trying to say FAU is going to get cut. He might stick around simply because he's on a rookie deal. And I know the story. The draft was in Kansas City. He's from KC, went to K-State, played college ball nearby, all that good stuff. I think we got to have an honest conversation here. At some point, the story no longer is going to be your armor for just making the team automatically. Because if you're not playing good football, do you think the Chiefs will really keep him around just because he's on a rookie deal? Because, again, playing in the second half of a preseason game from your number one draft pick from a couple of years ago is not a good look. If you have a first-round pick that's playing in the second half of a preseason game, he should be kicking ass. And that's not what's happening at all. Again, he's had flashes, but you don't draft a guy in the first round for flashes. You just don't. So I just wonder what he's going to look like. I know Sam Munson, who does a lot of great stuff for Pro Football Focus. I listened to one of his podcasts recently talking about the Chiefs, and he was just going on about this draft class and saying that every player Kansas City drafted really is someone that could do well for the team this year. And one guy he mentioned that I don't think is getting a lot of attention is Jeffrey Bossa. Bossa was always, excluding the special teams players, one of the first guys to make it onto the practice field every single day in training camp. And I wonder, Bossa, by the way, last week, and to give FAU a little credit, in the first half, he got a nice QB hit on one of the quarterbacks. I think it was Jacoby Brissett. Bossa did as well. Bossa is showing that he's kind of like a Leo Chanel style of player where he can go out there and blitz and go after the quarterback, which is what Steve Spagnuolo absolutely loves to do with his defense. And Jeffrey Bossa might be one of those guys that does that this year for Kansas City's defense. So I'll be, again, with a lot of starters expected to sit out, I'm curious to see what Bossa looks like in this game. I'm wondering if Andy Reid wants to rest a lot of the starters just to see what guys like Bossa, Gelati, Norman Lott, what a lot of those guys, Noel Williams, would look like. Because I think the thought is, yeah, sure, these rookies, all of them from the first round all the way to the last, these are all guys that can do good things on offense and defense for you and special teams as well. So what if we give them more snaps in the preseason? I'd be curious to see that. It is raining a little bit in Seattle, so I'm curious how that is going to impact things. But Adam says, Adam Monroe Burner, I like that. He's the Sky Moore of defense. Yeah, it's unfortunate because I think there was some expectation from Sky Moore when he came to Kansas City. FAU, I guess there was a little bit more hype for him because Bob says FAU needs to grab a beer, needs to grab a gear or beer. I assume that meant to say beer. But he just has not lived up to expectations, not at all. And I think drafting Ashton Gelati early in the third round, keep in mind, that's the pick from L'Jarius Sneed, the L'Jarius Sneed trade. That's where they chose to go with that pick. I mean, they could have gone anywhere. It doesn't have to be cornerback specifically, but they chose to get an edge rusher, and that has to send a message to FAU for sure. Okay, like I said at the beginning of the live stream, I will not be doing a halftime live stream or a post game podcast. If it was a regular season game, yeah, sure, but I'm not going to do that this late. Just listen, I got up at 4 a.m. this morning, so I am running on fumes tonight. If I wasn't like doing podcasts and content, all this stuff, dude, I'd be in bed by now. I'd be like, yeah, I'll just read about this tomorrow. But, okay, I get what you're saying, Bob. Yeah, we'll talk about the Rashi Rising a little later on. I will say this for the post-game podcast recap, we will do a podcast tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central Time. Come back here. We will do a post-game live stream. Technically, it would not be post-game. It would be the next day, but you get the idea. Because I would imagine a lot of you guys probably are going to hit the hay after the game or even at halftime. Completely understandable. It's a preseason game, not really stressing over this. So we will reconvene tomorrow. No more live streams the rest of the night. Enjoy the preseason for however long you will be watching. So tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central Time, we'll recap this preseason game. I'll be posting throughout the night, don't get me wrong, but as far as podcasts and live streams, no more until tomorrow morning. So I will talk to you all tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central Time. I'm Farzi Vasugi, and thank you all for joining me tonight. Peace out. Enjoy the game.